Hey guys, Science Montana today, here today, and I was wanting to make kind of a review video on a scale model mini fellow single 500. Don't mind my hands are a little messy from paint. I just finished painting it actually. This is the 500 series that was common in the LA civil defense system. I of course painted it the orangish reddish color that there was, or one, I don't know where exactly the location is. I'll figure it out. If I do figure it out, I'll put it in the link in the description where the location was, but it's kind of based off of that one. But I decided to, I think what they did is they repainted it. But what I did is I decided to weather it. And so with that being the case, I have of course made it, and this is from Edaan. He 3D printed this for me, and this is, you know, and normally the peg that the whole head sits on would be really short, so you'd have to glue it on to there, position it, and glue it. Well, I asked Edaan to specially make it where it was a little taller, so I was able to rotate just a little bit, but I was also able to position it in whatever position I please, because I think that just looks a lot more pleasing. But yeah, no, so I'm just going to be doing kind of a review / assembly. For the technique, for the weathering, or for how I painted it, was I took the parts besides this, because this is the rotor, it doesn't need to be painted. Because I'll just be inside there, and I think the metal looks a lot better. But no, I primed the parts first, and then I spray painted it the color I wanted to. Don't mind me coughing. And then after that, I took little cotton swabs and with some water and just the color of paint, and I went through with the gray, the kind of yellowish, brownish, and then I went with the darker brown or really dark brown to kind of give it the rusted effect, like there's rust spots and all that, and weathering, you know what I mean. But and that's just kind of how I did it. And of course, use the paintbrush for again like itty bitty details, like in between the horn and the back piece of the rotator, or the rotator housing. But yeah, let's I'll get to assembling this. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start off with, of course, grab my super glue. Never want to use too much because this stuff is strong. I am just gonna figure out the position. So we're gonna start with the rotor and the stator. So I'm probably gonna do it like that, so it kind of looks like it's been used. Also, Edaan did a lot of detailing. I don't know if it'll focus. As you can see right here, there's where it looks like where the bolts and stuff would be, where it connects to the shaft. So there's a lot of detail in this thing, and I really like the model. So I'm just gonna put a little droplet of super glue, kind of spread around a little bit. Maybe add a couple other droplets elsewhere. That should be enough. And we're gonna take the rotor, kind of swirl it around in there. Then we're gonna position it how we want it to be. So the rotor is now in there. So that looks perfect. And then we will get the mount / I don't know what you would call it. I guess this is to be the mounting bracket with like the center shaft or whatever, which would sit in there. So we'll add a little glue to this. Also, I will be putting Edaan's Facebook page in the description below. He also will be having a website coming up here in a little bit. So I'll update the description with his website. Let's see, how do I want it? Now put more of the rust on that side. So that's glued on there. So essentially, it looks like that, but I gotta finish it up first. I did only about one layer of spray paint though, and a primer, and then the color spray paint, because it doesn't need much. It's not going to be used. Of course, it's just a stationary model. It's for display only. But if this were to be like one of his Edaan's bigger, more functioning mini stirons, of course I'd do several layers in order to keep it from getting, you know, chipped and stuff. But if this gets chipped, I can always go back through and add a little more weathering if I really want to do. Alright, where's my toothpick? I had a toothpick over here somewhere. Oh, I threw it away. Luckily the trash can's right off to the side here. I will be putting super glue onto the toothpick. That way I can put it around the rim of the top of the stator. But yeah, no, I really like this model and I'm really happy I got it. I think it costs about $10 for the model itself, and then the rest is shipping. So depending on how much it is for shipping, which is usually about, I think, up to $5 or so. It shouldn't be at least too much. It's fairly cheap, but it's a good model. So we're gonna put super glue on this part of the stator because we're gonna put the intake on top of it. Center it with the intake. I'm very impressed with how this came out. Of course you can assemble it whatever way you want to assemble it, but this is the best way. And I'm gonna take my handy dandy little fan over here. I'm not sure if it'll cause any wind interference with the camera's mic, but kind of dry off the glue parts. Edaan, the horn and the back piece was already glued. I know that kind of caused a little bit of trouble when spray painting, but luckily, since I was weathering it, it allowed me to put, you know, some weathering in the crack in between. So it wasn't that big of a deal if I missed a few spots. If you definitely get it from him and you want to do it where it wasn't weathered, I would definitely ask him to keep it all separate, because I specifically had to ask him to keep it completely separate. But definitely if I get another one, I'll ask him to keep the horn and the back piece separate. But no, this is pretty much LA style, or what we like to call the LA style. I think, oh yeah, that's dry enough. And so this is gonna go in here, so we gotta add some glue to the back of that. So we want this thing here. But nah, this is a really cool model, and I'm really happy to have it. Let's see if we can get it in there flat. Alright, looks good. That's a little bit off, so I'm gonna recenter that. Just trying to get it just perfect. I mean, it's not gonna be 100%, but I think that's the best it's gonna be, is right there. As you can see, the intake and the chopper has been attached. We'll just let that dry for a minute, just in case. That's why this little handy dandy fan right here comes in handy. It's a little, small little motor fan. Oh geez, I didn't destroy my camera. Which allows for easier, faster drying on like the paint and gluing. So I can get the project done a lot faster, which is really nice. But yeah, no. This is the part, and of course you got the little peg there. But yeah, I gotta say, it turned out really good. I love the color, I love the weathering. Oh yeah, that's still in there. And so, we'll put that right there. We'll aim it that way. And there you have it. You have a mini scale model Federal signal, or Federal size signal technically. But you can just call it Federal. I just call it Federal signal for short. Keep it simple. But Federal size signal, 500, or model 500, dual tone, 9/12 port. But yeah, no, this thing is actually really neat. You can, I don't know if you can see. Oh, maybe not. Should focus outwards. Zoom in on it. Blur. As you can see, there's details. Let me grab this right here. As you can see, there's a bolt or 3 nuts, and then of course you got that little bar that goes on the rudder that connects to the shaft. But no, this thing is phenomenal. I made sure to put a lot of detail onto it and take my time on it, even though it only took me 1 day to finish. I am thoroughly impressed with how it came out. But yeah, no, like I said, I'll leave a link to his Facebook page, and then of course his actual website when he gets it set up down in the description. And but yeah, no, also the color I used is fire orange, Rust-Oleum fire orange. So if you're wondering if you want to do it this color, I would suggest the Rust-Oleum fire orange, because it looks very, very nice. Anyways, I hope this is helpful, and thank you to Edaan if you're watching this, because you're amazing. And I'll see you guys in the next one.